I'm Josh from the Banyan Grill, and today we're going to be doing a 3-course lunch, dinner, whatever you like to do with it. But first we're going to start out with some quick knife safety and some knife keeping, sharpening tips and so on. So I brought my knife from home. It's relatively dull, so it's perfect to demonstrate what I'm trying to today. And when you get a knife, like when I was in culinary school, it was very particular on what knife you had to have as far as, you know, the tang and the balance and the weight and the brand. It's not that serious, you know, for home cooks. This is a good knife. The knives we use on a day-to-day basis cut just fine, and they're a much lower expense. So I have a knife at home that I got at Bed Bath & Beyond, I think for $25. What to me is very important about a knife that you're gonna pick is comfort. So any knife you should be able to look at is it's gonna be wrapped in plastic to about here. You know, grab the handle, feel the weight, see what it's like. If you do want to get a higher end knife and you go to a shop, they'll let you hold it, you know. And you're gonna wanna hold it like this, your thumb on the back, your finger across but under. That's gonna give you good stability, and your fingers are out of the way when you cut. But before that, one of the most dangerous things you're ever gonna do with a knife is work with a dull one. So a lot of times when you get a knife or you have a set, it'll come with one of these. It's referred to as a steel, very slightly riveted. This does not sharpen the knife directly. The stone is what grinds the knife down. The steel is gonna remove imperfections. So you wanna go 20-degree angle. So keep in mind, here's 90, there's 45, you know, there's your 20. 20-degree angle, switch sides every time. I do probably 20 strokes. I remember in culinary school they said 10 to 12. I get a pretty good sharp knife by doing 20 or more. What is good is you can almost feel as the knife is getting the imperfections taken out of there, it gets softer. And if you really need to use a stone like I do, I touched on getting a stone before, and this is a very basic one. It's referred to as a bi-stone. It's got 2 sides, has a coarse side, has a smooth side. All you have to do is touch it, you'll know which one's which. Coarse is for a knife that is more dull. Obviously, if you're using like a sushi chef who has a super sharp knife all the time, he's gonna hit it on the fine stone probably every day before he works. Someone like me, I'm not gonna touch this for a month or more, so I always have to go with the coarse. And you have to lubricate the stone so it actually will grind on the knife better. And you can buy oils for that. It is not necessary at all. All I have here is about 1.5 cups of warm water, Dawn dish soap. I have Palmolive at home. That would work fine too. 2-3 drops. Swish it around with your hand, and then all you're doing is just putting this across the stone. And the stone is porous. That's why I have the towel under it, because it's gonna stabilize it, but it's also gonna collect all the water that's, you know, running through. This is actually my dad's stone. So you get these for about $8, $10, $12, maybe $15, and they will last forever. They don't get worn out with time, they get worn out with use, and they take a lot of use. So the same principle as the 20 degrees with this, you're going 20 degrees on here. I like to go away from me, not because it's safer like that, just because for me, I'm more comfortable like that. So, and you're putting pressure on there, and I actually start out with a little bit more pressure, and then as I feel the knife gliding across there a little bit softer, I let up on the pressure. But if you're more comfortable going like this, you can do that too. It's the angle that's important, 20 degrees. It's the pressure that's important, and utilize the entire surface area. So as you see, as I'm dragging this back, I'm also pushing it across the stone. You're not gonna hurt your knife. Just make sure that when you're trying to figure out how to do this, or if you're more comfortable doing it, when you do it, you don't, you know, harp on one side. One stroke, back and forth. And then we're gonna switch to the fine side, a little bit there. And this is something, you know, you do it, and then you get to cooking. And if it doesn't feel right, you can go back and do it again. It's not that big of a deal. And then after you're done, back on the steel. Next episode, I'm gonna show you some risotto. So real quick, we're gonna dice this onion. You really wanna tell how sharp your knife is after you've done this? Cut something. I cut an onion before with this same knife, and now I've done this and it's a lot smoother. Still not quite where I want it, but pretty smooth. So for risotto, we use a small dice of onion. You don't want to have onion pieces bigger than your rice. And then what I did there is I took the stem off, I left the root end on, and then I stood it on its half end, root up, cut through it, and then so you have this piece, square it off, and then what you want to do is just make cuts. I do probably about 1/4 inch, a little bit more. This knife is definitely sharper. And then I do one cut through the center. And then all you're doing with your fingers out of the way, I put my nails straight down and I'm pushing the knife forward, but I'm also putting a little bit of pressure to put the knife through. So a lot of times when you see things that are destroyed from cutting, what's happening is the person is trying to do this way more than that. So we got our onions done. Next time, we're gonna do some risotto and a salad, and I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you.